So hello and back to another tutorial from Lightroom. So today we want to process this shot, and I already processed it, and I just want to give you a glimpse of how it will look at the end of the processing. It will look like this. Just a moment, just rendering. Yep, it will look like this. So this is the unaltered version, and I'm not going too much into detail of all the options. If you want to know all the details, then please check out my first video of the riders. There I have taken a lot of time explaining everything. I will just now process it, and will let you being part of the processing, and I want to just make it quick this time. So first of all, what I'm doing in all my shots is I'm setting the highlights to the lowest and pushing the shadows to the most to get back the details in the shadows and to get back the details in the highlights. Then adding the contrast to 25, leaving the exposure as it is. Then I'm using, for all my shots, I'm using old school film color profiles like the Kodak Ektachrome 64T and the Kodak Lightroom 160++. You can buy them from VSCO. Please buy them because they are worth it. So don't use piracy. It's not good. We get you into hell. So for this photo, because I have the sun, and in all my sunsets I'm using the Elitechrome because it will add a magenta tone by nature. So I would just select it. The shot is now getting a lot deeper. If you're wondering what plus plus means that the blacks are exaggerated, and then this is the classical look to all my shots. I'm also giving it a split toning, so I'm pushing the highlights more into brown and pushing the shadows more into blue. And what I'm doing is I'm closing my Chrome because I want to get rid of the notifications. So what I'm doing is I'm also sharpening, so it's going to 60, and masking is so the tree should be masked fine like this. Removing chromatic aberrations, setting the automatic leveling. That's fine, and I'm using the Sony Camera Clear render profile, so the shot is even getting more dark. But I will get back all the details soon. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add some sunlight. So the sunlight will go from the top left corner to the right. So in ascension from this to that one. So I'm choosing the Radial Filter, inverting the mask, setting the sunlight, the center should be there, and just showing you the mask. So all the options I'm setting here, the highest density of intensity of all the options will be here, and then going lower to the edges. By setting the feather to 100, this will be really smooth. So I will just set the center of the light there and then going to that. So this is what's happening, and as you can see, the effect is not there, but if you, for example, change the exposure, and you can see that there will be a lovely glow coming from the left part. So doing it like this, a little bit bigger, a little bit lower, and then we have it. So sunlight is a little bit yellow, so do it yellow. You can just push it, and then the sunlight is also, the blacks are also exaggerated, so push it to 20. And now comes the trick. The real glow is coming from the dehaze feature. So normally if you have a shot that has a lot of fog, you use the dehaze to get back the details, but in our case we use the opposite of the dehazing to add something that looks like fog, and we will just decrease it to -10, and then you can see that, for example, the tree, the leaves, they're getting some glow back. You can see here, look what's happening. But don't do this too much, just a little bit. So like -10. That's enough. And then you can see here, if you go back to our altered one, it's just rendering that this is what we want to achieve. And we already got the light. So you will go back to the shot. Oh gosh, the recording is making my... So what we also want to do is we will change the luminance. Luminance means how bright are colors rendered. So in our case, the sunlight should be rendered really bright. So I will select the color and we'll push it. And we will also push the orange. So like this. Let's just look if everything's fine. Yeah, this looks nice. And as we have pushed yellows and orange, so what we will do is we will increase now the temperature, giving it a more yellow look, and by doing this the photo will also be brighter, because what we have done is we have said that all yellows are going up in brightness, and so we will make the shot do something like this. Yes, and then you can see here, so if you look at this, it's really dark, but giving it back yellow, then the brightness is coming, because the yellow tone will be applied to the shot, and this part is already yellow from the from our exposure. So you can see here we have set that the radial filter is giving a yellow temperature to this part, and by increasing the luminance at this part and increasing the overall temperature, this part will get brighter. So going back, now you can see that the foreground is really dark. So what we could do, and this is the bad thing, we could now just paint over it and giving it back some structure, but in my opinion this is really boring, so this is not dynamic enough. So I will work with radial filters once again, decreasing the temperature, setting the exposure a little bit higher, and we will start with one setting set to the middle, and then increasing the exposure to something like this. So if you're asking why I'm not doing this, going for the brush and brushing just over it, light is not static, means light can on and so on, and we want to restructure something like this. So instead of working with a brush going over there, you could also then dodge and burn, it's also fine, but using radial filters is easier. So in our case we will add more light coming from this part, so doing it like this, and then you can see it's not constantly, so we have here some darker parts, we have here some brighter parts, and then some darker parts, and this makes the shot more dynamic. And then we will use some smaller ones here, so something like this. And we always want to have a little bit more yellow into this. And now you can just copy the radial filter by pressing Command and Alt and dragging it. So, and then you can see it's like this. And now we have this foreground, and this foreground can be pushed by using a linear gradient, and just to do it like this. And what I'm doing right now is, because this is just too bright, I'm just using another radial filter to get more structures back in the clouds and decreasing. It's getting back. So, but we still have the glow coming from that part. So you can see, I could also have just deleted that part with the brush, but I'm just decreasing it with another radial filter. That's up to you. And now the last things I'm going to do, I will just add some light here, so it should look like the sun is also giving some brightness at the bottom of the clouds. So just using another radial filter, pushing more into yellow, doing it here too, just dragging it out and doing it here too, and then I'm decreasing the sky. This is too bright, so just decreasing the sky, making it look darker, so like this. And if we look into this one and look into that one, so let me just check if I forgot anything. That's fine, that's fine, that's good. I mean, it won't look exactly like the other processed one, because this would mean I will just make, is the other processed version more bluish? Hard to tell. I think what I've done with the other version is I have increased the exposure, the overexposure, but decreasing the sky a little bit. Yeah, but the shot is fine, so you can get a glimpse of how I edit this. And if we look at this version, and I will just click now the reset button, because there we go. This is the unedited version. This is the processed version. Unedited, process. So there you can see how light can change a complete shot. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to make a lot more tutorials in the future. So thank you. Bye bye.